Well, hello there and welcome back. This is episode 49 of my Minecraft 1.16 Let's Play. I've been grinding away pretty hard in the end, but I've only been out here 2 days and I've managed to get 13 and a half stacks. Now, that's obviously quite a few hours over the course of 2 days, but 13 and a half stacks of shulker shells. That should complete my shulker box full of shulker shells. I also got almost 4 stacks of diamond, a whole bunch of end rods, and some other stuff. I got, I think it was 34 elytra, some cool tools that most of them have efficiency 5 already, which is pretty nifty, and then a whole bunch of horse armor, which is pretty cool as well. I might want to start trying to get a shulker box of each of these as well. So I marked some coordinates of an end portal that shouldn't be too far away from here. So let's head on back and assemble our shulker box full of shulker shells. Alright, so here we are at the board, and you know, when I built this board and put shulker shells on it, I never imagined I would be doing this manually. I thought I would be able to build the shulker shell shucker and use that instead, and it sucks that we weren't able to do that, but I gotta say, this feels pretty darn rewarding. That is an amazing lot of shulker boxes, and this should more than double the number of shulker boxes that I have. If we go into the statistics here, we go into items crafted, it should be down in the 800s. We got 890 shulker boxes that I have crafted. Now, a shulker box full of shulker shells is 864 shulker boxes, but I'm certain that I've lost quite a few shulker boxes over the days, so this should more than double the number of shulker boxes that I have. That said, I'd like to talk about the possibility of doing something non-vanilla for shulker boxes in the future. I've already demonstrated that I can get a bunch of shulker boxes the manual way, but I'm probably going to need quite a few more. I use a lot of shulker boxes, and I'd like to continue using shulker boxes and continuing to grind in this fashion. I wish they did something for vanilla, like super duper late game or something like that for players that need a lot of shulker boxes or servers or stuff like that, but there isn't anything. So we're looking into the possibility of doing something non-vanilla. So there's a couple options that we have available. We can use the data pack that Hermitcraft uses. It gives you 2 shulker boxes, 2 shulker shells for every shulker that you kill, no matter how they're killed. I also have found another data pack that just allows shulkers to respawn, which I think that would be a pretty neat option. Or obviously we could just use carpet mod and they have a shulker respawning option in that as well. Now I think data packs are going to lead to the least possibility of there being lag versus actually installing a mod on the server. So I think the data packs are probably our best options unless the data packs don't work for some reason. Asta is leaning towards, you know, the double shulker shells. He likes there to still be a point of there being end cities. I mean, obviously we can still go get elytra, but we could just straight boat raid, and you know, that kind of makes end cities kind of pointless. But I like the idea of being able to build a farm out of an end city, and I think that'd be kind of neat. So let me know what you think. We may just go with whatever we decide. We're still kind of talking about it and the options, but we would definitely be interested in knowing what you think. All right, so we finally get to take this shulker down off the wall and put it in the chest over here, and man, that does feel good. And I think we should probably make it rain. Now, I hate this green carpet over here, so I'm going to get rid of that first. I think I'll replace it with some black carpet, and then we'll make it rain some shulker shells. There's nothing quite like completing a big task and then, you know, pouring the results of that task over your head. I don't know why I love this so much, but I really, really do love doing this. This is a lot of fun. It's raining shulker shells. Now, it's been a month, and that's all I was required to keep this statue up for, but I think I want to leave it here for now until I find something better to put in its place, because it is kind of a fun statue. But this sign right here, I don't have to keep this sign here anymore. I think I've proven that I'm a pretty amazing end buster myself. Let's remove that sign and might as well hit the fireworks while we're here. I still love that. I'm here at my zombie pigman farm, which I guess is now a zombified piglin farm. It is working fine, just the mob switch is on right now, so there are no mobs spawning, but it does work fine. But we had a little issue where this light, you can see it's observer based on this switch. Somehow it got in the wrong state. The machine's actually off right now. And if we flick the switch, the light goes off. The machine is now on. Now that's fine. I will fix this, but it's fine. It wouldn't cause any problem, except as a result of this, I accidentally left it on when I left the area. And that causes some issues down here with the pistons where they will end up in the wrong state. So if we come down here, can actually see, yeah, these pistons are not supposed to look like that. They've actually even been pushed up into that row. So I've got to fix that. It's not that hard to fix. It just, you know, it's easier if it doesn't happen. But it happened. I got to go through and fix it. Now that's not too difficult. But while I'm here, I had this idea that has to do with 1.16 and these soul torch lights. So these provide a light level of 10, which is something we didn't have before. So using these, I think I can stop the zombie reinforcements from spawning. I have to put them fairly close to each other, like something like this, and then that will keep the light level above level 7 so that none of the zombie reinforcements will spawn, but they're not so bright that they will prevent the zombie piglins from spawning. So I think this will actually work pretty well. So I'm going to layer this whole area with these soul torch lights and see if that'll help. That is a serious lot of torches. It certainly brightens the place up. Fortunately, they're pretty cheap, but it did take me a little while to set them all down. I probably should have tested this ahead of time in creative to make sure this would work the way I wanted it to. It should in theory. Let's hope so. Let's go ahead and find out. First by missing. There we go. We'll turn this thing on and make sure that everything's working and repair this very damaged pick that I've got here. Let's see how it goes. Yeah, I'm pretty sure this is working. I've been running this for a while, and I have not seen any zombie reinforcements at all. So the issue is that they would occasionally spawn with feather falling boots on, and so they wouldn't take lethal damage falling down the hole here. And so because they had equipment, they also would never despawn. So they would slowly eat into the mob cap. So if you did this overnight, you'd probably have 10, 12 sitting down there. And more annoying than them eating into the mob cap is there's no way to get rid of them except to go down there and actually kill them to get rid of them. Otherwise, they would literally never despawn. So I think they've got that problem solved. Now, we are talking about setting up a second gold farm. Obviously, this one, I love this one because it's great for experience, but there are gold farms that produce at least twice as much gold as this. And with the new benefit of gold in the Nether update, I think we probably will set up a second gold farm and keep this one for XP, but for gold, we might want a different farm. But I still think this is a good change. As far as this mob switch goes, people seem to agree that this is some sort of bug or fluke, and that I've already wrangled all these shulkers, so it doesn't make sense for me to have to do it all over again, just because of some weirdness in the game decided that they didn't want to stay in their cage during an update. So I'm going to consider this a maintenance task, and I'm going to use creative to fix this. I'm actually going to rise it up a little bit so that we're not using these lower slots anymore. Instead, we'll move it up in the air. I don't know what caused this in the first place, but hopefully by doing that, future server updates won't cause issues as well. So apparently the way that I had this set up, where there were glass panes directly in front of the shulkers, was no longer a viable shulker location in 1.16. So the ones that were lower, they had viable teleport locations, so they just teleported down to bedrock. And the ones that were higher didn't have anywhere to teleport to. But as soon as I started removing blocks, they started teleporting to those blocks. So that helped me figure out what was going on here. But if I hadn't known about that and I tried to fix this in survival, I would have absolutely lost all of them. But if I had known about this, then I could have easily fixed this in 1.15 by just coming here with invisibility on and removing the glass pane wall and moving it out one block, and that wouldn't have caused any issues. But I don't remember anybody saying anything about shulker changes in any of the snapshots. So, but now that I've got them raised up like here, so even if these blocks become unviable shulker locations for some reason in a future update, there's nowhere else for them to teleport to anymore, so this should be perfectly stable moving forward. Even if some weird update causes a change, they should stay put now. As I mentioned a few episodes ago, I've been stocking up on gold in preparation of this update, and I've got a ton of gold here. These are all blocks and they're all full, so that is an awful lot of gold. So I think it's time to put some of it to use. So piglins spawn in Crimson Forest and Nether Waste biomes primarily. In the Crimson Forest, you can get piglins, hoglins, or zombified piglins. And in Nether Waste, you can get piglins, zombified piglins, ghast, magma cubes, and endermen. And so I kind of don't want to have to deal with the hoglins, and we have Nether Waste that's a lot closer to my Nether hub than Crimson Forest. I'm going to use the Nether roof up here as my trading area, and I'm far enough away from the Nether hub that I shouldn't cause any lag from these mobs when we're over there in the thing. I'm about 350 blocks diagonally, so I'm 350, 350. So I think this is where I'm going to set it up, and I'm just going to use the Nether Waste, and then I'm going to set up a platform up here where they can spawn. I'll put a roof over it so that we don't get the Enderman or the ghast or the magma cube, so we'll only have piglins and zombified piglins. So first, let me set up the actual bartering area. So the actual bartering setup is really quite simple. So the piglin would stand on this hopper here, and there's a dropper that would fire gold into them, and they'll grab that gold right out of the air, so we never have to worry about it landing on the hopper down here. And then when they're done trading, they'll drop all their items on the ground, and the hopper will suck them up. And then we've got a comparator here that says, hey, he's done trading. It sends a signal back up to the dropper, and it spits out another gold, and it just cycles like through that until you're out of gold. And I could have made this system a little more simple, but I kept running into an issue where if he only dropped one item, sometimes this comparator wouldn't register it, and that would just kind of break the cycle. So I added a little bit of extra circuitry so that it actually holds the hopper for a split second until it actually registers that there's an item in the hopper, and then it'll release it and the items can flow through, and that prevents that problem from occurring. And then I also could have put a torch on top of this block right here, and that would power the dropper, but by using a piston and an observer here, that actually will fire off the dropper the second there's an item in this hopper here. If I'd put a torch there, it would have waited for this hopper to be empty before firing off the dropper. So this method is a little bit faster. And then I ran into one other problem where sometimes this hopper would actually still have items in it when he's done with his next trade, so it would actually break the cycle there as well. So I got a hopper minecart down here instead, and that clears the items out of this hopper very, very quickly. And then it's actually sitting on top of an activator rail, so powering this block powers the activator rail, and that's what holds the hopper and keeps the items from dropping down. So it's actually really simple once you look at it, but you know, there's some extra stuff back here so that I have a button to initiate the entire process up front. So when I first put gold in it and I want to send out the first set of gold, I've got a button up front that'll do that for me. So there's some extra circuitry in there for that, but the rest of this is actually really simple. All of this, on the other hand, is for handling the items. Each piglin here will drop on average 3,500 items per hour, so 2 piglins will nearly fill a hopper line. And if I wanted to sort all these items in a more traditional sense, I would need 4 different hopper lines with 4 different sets of sorters. Now, I could just push all the items through a portal and sort them in the overworld, and I did that in the Guardian farm because I was already in the overworld, so having the items there was definitely very useful. But here I'm already in the Nether, and I'd rather have the items in the Nether. And also, I've never actually done another sorting system on this kind of a scale. So I based a lot of this on what Nembaum did for his gold farm. I've made a lot of changes here, but some of the general principles are here. So I've got my own dispensing system to drop the items, drops them into cobwebs, which aligns the items, drops them onto some slime blocks. The slime blocks will push them over into a central location down there, and they get pushed onto an ice line, and then they get pushed across all these sorters. I'll go over all this in more detail once I've actually got some items going through the system. So I'm going to need some piglins up there in order to do that. So let's set up the platform and see if we can wrangle us some piglins and get them into the system. This may very well be overkill, but I wanted a way to turn this on and off. So I've got some redstone lamps in there to allow me to control whether or not things can spawn in here, just in case anything goes wrong. It also means that I don't necessarily have to tear this down right away. Just in case something happens to my piglins, I can leave this platform up for a little while just to make sure that I have another chance to grab them without having to set up another one. Now, I think this is a large enough platform, especially if I fly straight up. Then I should be able, this should be a large enough platform that there's not really anywhere else for them to spawn. So let's turn this light on and I'll fly straight up and we'll see if we can get anything to spawn here. All right, we got a few, but they're all zombies. This might be a little harder than I thought. All right, so I set up a little platform up at the build limit so that I had enough time to sit up there and let the mob cap fill up, and it appears to work. I don't know if these guys can get it. They should chase after me, right? They should want to be able to kill me. I don't know why. Oh, they can't. They can't go past the carpet. Okay, that's interesting. Oh, there he goes. Can I get you to fall in this hole here? Is he not trying to kill me? Come on. Come on, guys. Fall in the hole. This is not quite as easy as I was hoping for, but I think I can probably manage to get this to work. Oh, man, now they're shooting at me. This is not what I wanted. All right, let's just open all of these and maybe... Oh, whoa, 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 whoa. Hey, guys. All right, let's regroup and try again. Yeah, so it's the guy with the sword. He does a ton of damage. So I might have to just kill him. I've got piglins just all over this thing. I probably should have set up a larger wall. All right, let's try again. So this guy fell in all by himself. And this guy over here I had to push in, and also that baby fell in by itself. I don't think I want the baby. I don't think I can trade with them. So I've got some name tags set up already. So let's name this guy. Oops. And let's fly out. All right. And yeah, he didn't despawn. Good. And let's close that chamber. We'll put glass over their heads shortly. And do this right here. Name him. So what I think I should probably do, I think I could set up a fence gate here so that I can let like one through and not all of them. I think that'll probably work a little bit better. Man, they are very resistant to falling in this hole. This is a lot harder to get them into the hole than I thought it would be. Most mobs will just fall right into the hole like this. They just not want to fall in. This is crazy. It seems to work better to try and get them to like back up into it. I don't know if I can get it to happen here, but I've gotten that to happen a couple of times. So if I come back around him, try to get him to back up into one, maybe, it's not super easy, that's for sure. Will he walk into it? Come on. There he goes. Yeah, there we go. So that's a lot easier than trying to push him, that's for sure. All right, I managed to get all 8. The last one was actually a sword one, and he just fell into the hole on his own. So we'll go ahead and turn this light on so that nothing more will spawn. I could fly away, and these guys would all despawn, but they're not really hurt anything. And so I have started this guy out. You can actually see it working. So he's got gold and seems to be cycling properly. And that gets some items into the system so that I can set up the filters because I haven't done that yet. So let me start him trading, and then I will go down and set up all the filters to get that started as well. All right, I got all the filters for the sorters set down there. So the next thing to do is to fill all this with gold. Now, there's no shulker box unloader for a couple of reasons. One is because it's much more efficient to bring this in blocks than it is in gold ingots. And the other is a shulker box loader wouldn't be able to distribute it to all of these really quickly. So basically, I just need to load up all these chests so that each one of these stations gets gold right away, and then all the backup will flow through evenly across all of them. So yeah, I got to break all this down to gold and fill up a whole bunch of these chests here. These chests are about enough, a little bit more than is required to run this overnight. I guess I grossly miscalculated on these chests because I just put all 5 shulker boxes of gold blocks into these, and that should last about 20 hours, somewhere around there. So I didn't even use this top row, so probably didn't need this many chests. Now that I've got this loaded up with gold, I get to click this button and initiate the process. There we go. Are there 2 of them in there? What in the world? So I forgot to swap out those trapdoors for glass, and you can see why it needs to be glass and not trapdoors, because they were actually dropping the items on top of the dropper, and with the glass here, they can't do that, and that actually fixed that problem. But that was actually breaking their cycle, and I've lost some items as a result. I'm not too worried about that, but definitely an important thing. As far as these 2 guys go, I think I had some sort of weird client glitch because I thought that one of my piglins had despawned, so I actually ended up rounding up 9 of them, and apparently he was just in the hole and I couldn't see him. I don't know what happened there, but it doesn't appear to be causing any problems. He's still trading normally. It's just that one, and it's just kind of ignoring the other one. At some point, I might have to go in there and kill one of them, but it doesn't seem to be an issue. Down here we can see the process working. You can see the items dropping. They're falling onto the slime blocks. They're getting moved over, pushed into the center, then sent down here, and then sent across all these sorters. And we can see if we can climb over here without ending up... Well, I've already got quite a few items in my inventory. I was trying not to pick up everything, but that didn't work so well. So on this side, we've got the sorters for all the items I want to keep. I've got 2 sorters for each to make sure that the items all get picked up. So we got gravel here, we got soul sand, we got magma cream. This one is going to go away in 1.16.2. This will be replaced with blackstone, which I also want to keep. And we got nether brick, crying obsidian, leather, and nether quartz. And then on the other side, if I can get over there, are the items I'm throwing away. So over on this side, we've got string. I've got plenty of string from my mob farm. So I am throwing that all away. Ender pearls, tons of ender pearls, not worried about those. I'm actually throwing away the fire charges. They're craftable. I don't really need that many of them. So I'm just throwing away all the fire charges and definitely the iron nuggets. I don't want to craft iron when I have an iron farm. And then these last ones are just in case some of the... So we've got shulker box loaders down there. So if we run out of shulker boxes, then these sorters over there will get filled. And if we send items, we got a non-stackable item filter here. If we send too many items past here, if all those are filled and we end up with a lot of items coming over here, items will just sit on top of these hoppers. So these are extra garbage filters for if anything goes past these. So all the items that I might not want forever. So for example, leather. You know, I mean, if I get 4 shulker boxes of leather, I'm probably good for forever. So once I've got that, I don't want it, those filters will be full over there, and I don't want to overload these hoppers over here. So we've got leather, soul sand. Once I've got a few shulker boxes of soul sand, doesn't really matter. Obsidian, just in case I get like another obsidian farm, which will probably be happening, then I'm not too worried about getting obsidian from this thing. Magma cream, just in case. And then gravel probably will never happen because I will always put shulker boxes in gravel. But I had an extra sorter here for symmetry, so I put something in there. And if it does overflow on gravel, then there'll be a lot of it. So you want to get that. And then we got a non-stackable item filter, and then anything else that makes it through just gets thrown in the garbage. So glowstone isn't being sorted because that trait is going away. So that one would go straight into there. And any overflow or anything like that that didn't make it through the system. So yeah, and then down below we've got the actual shulker box loaders. So yeah, we got a decent amount of, wow, we've already got a ton of nether brick, ton of soul sand, gravel, and then somewhere here's our non-stackable items. This is a lot of chests for non-stackable items, but this is kind of required in order to run it. Oh, there they all are. Wow, that's a lot of them. And if you want to run it overnight, you need a lot of chests for the non-stackables, because I haven't been running it that long, and we've got one chest filled already, and there's probably some extras sitting around. So yeah, definitely need a lot of storage for those. But yeah, that's the whole system, and it looks like everything working is great. So I'll put a world download and a schematic in the description if anybody is interested in this monstrosity. And if you want to keep some of the items that I'm throwing away, you should be able to fairly easily replace the garbage section with a shulker box loader. Just kind of copy this over onto here and have this not run as far. Like if you wanted to keep string, there's plenty of room to set up another shulker box loader right here if that's what you wanted to do. But yeah, I'm pretty proud of this design. I think this is working really well. So I ran this thing for about 5 hours yesterday evening, and I was planning on running it overnight, but I was starting to worry that I was going to run out of shulker boxes to store all the items in because it was producing so many items. And there's still quite a lot of gold in the system. We still got tons of gold back here, so no worries there. So this will actually keep going for quite a while. Now, I probably could have calculated how many items per hour I was getting out of this and put down a proper number of shulker boxes to run it overnight, but I didn't want to do that right before going to bed. So I probably will do that and put a Google Sheet in the description with those numbers if anybody's interested, how many shulker boxes you need to load into the system, etc. But yeah, over about 5 hours, we got 16 shulker boxes of gravel, so that's pretty awesome. I will probably want more in the future, but this is a darn good start. Probably what I'll do is I'm probably going to stop using this for now and then come back when 1.16.2 comes out, and then I can start getting some of that blackstone. I just ran out of the last shulker box of soul sand, so we got, what, 13 shulker boxes of soul sand. I might actually want to start using this for like soul sand paths for the soul speed boots and stuff like that. So might actually use a lot of this. So we'll see what happens there. Only 2, almost 3 shulker boxes of magma creams. These are useful for making magma blocks, but that's not really that much of it. So probably not super useful, but you know, somewhat useful. And then got a ton of nether brick, almost on 13 shulker boxes of nether brick, which is pretty awesome. We got 2 2/3 shulker boxes of crying obsidian. Don't know what I'm going to do. I'm really sad that you can't make nether portals out of this. These would be some really cool looking nether portals. Maybe in the future. We'll see. And then only got 1 shulker box of obsidian. Obsidian comes through the system fairly slowly. And then I ran out of shulker boxes of leather because I had 6 shulker boxes of leather. Like, what am I going to do with all this leather? I can really only make item frames with it. Like, I have no purpose for all this leather. I might end up throwing quite a bit of it away. And then this is a lot of observers right here. And I probably will actually go through this at some point in time. But this is awesome that now nether quartz is renewable. This is very, very cool. I'm really excited about that. And I threw away most of the potions and boots that came through the system. So now there's probably a few that have come in since I threw them all away. But most of the rest of this is books. So we're into our 3rd chest of books up here. Got a chest of books here, some here, and a few more randomly strewn out in these other chests as well. So probably what I'll do is I'll just keep the soul speed 3. Hopefully I get, like a shulker box of 2, a soul speed 3 is probably more than I'll ever need. So that's pretty awesome. I am, this is completely overkill. This is a lot of items, and I did not even use it for that long. So I've ran way over the standard time for this episode. I hope you found this as interesting as I did. I had a lot of fun building this, and I hope you enjoyed watching it. I want to thank you very much for watching it. I hope you enjoyed the episode, and I hope to see you again soon. Bye now.